All right, so here's what's going on with the 2166 cage rebuild. I opted to get rid of all the S-wires that I had in there because, I simply cut the trailing edge or whatever that goes to the rear ring just too short. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I could have probably used it and made a cage that was, 2.5 inches wide, or 2 3/8, maybe 2.5 if I was lucky, instead of 2 3/4 or so. But anyway, so I got all those out. 2 of them did not come out. They broke right here. So the JB Weld held like the Dickens. I was able to loosen the others and unscrew them because I had threaded them, and that worked out pretty well. But it's a double-edged sword because in being able to unscrew, you're also giving it something to grip onto, which is the other reason I did it. So anyway, I had to do some surgery. I'll cut some pictures in here, but I had to do basically some like cutaways on the side, on the side that's behind the cage. I literally made like a cut and cut away the lead. There you can see it. And I filled it with JB Weld, that one and that one. And I'll tell you, before I did a little bit of sanding on it, you could barely tell that I did a repair there. That JB Weld just looks so nice, like lead. So anyway, yeah, and then I had taken the badge off. This is the first time I've had a badge this style off, and look how just gorgeous that brass is, man. I mean, that's like pulling an arrowhead out of the dirt that hasn't seen light in, 3,000 years or something. I mean, that is just, I like the color better of that than the polished. I don't know, and I'm not real experienced with polishing brass. I'm getting better. I did finally buy this yellow wheel and some good red rouge, and I've got my ball door. This is actually what they call a dental lathe, but it does get up to, I think, 34, 50 RPM. Yeah, so it worked pretty good. I mainly used it on the sides, but yeah, very pleased with that. So I flattened out the H casting a little bit. That's for, I guess, Hendrix was I don't know if they were exclusively a birdcage manufacturer, but apparently Emerson contracted them to build some cages around this time period. So when you see the H, that's what that means, I found out. This was in pretty good original condition with the original gold paint, and I boogered it up because I did so much work to it. Not too bad. Right here, I got some dents because I had to sort of compress this with my pliers to try to get it to the badge to fit. So, it's a little misshapen, but the badge is going to fit on there pretty good. But then, I really like the fact that the gold paint was in pretty good original condition. So, because I boogered it up, this vintage gold is actually a really, really good match. I used it on a 6-wing blade I did a repair on, and it's just dead to nuts on what the original color was on the back side of this lead puck. So I basically sprayed it on some cardboard and then used a brush, and I kind of like that you can kind of see through it. It kind of gives it that worn look. I painted the edge, so when that cage badge goes on there, that ought to be real nice. Still thinking about, and then there's my jig. So I made this jig for the purpose of, I still got to cut like a pizza slice out of here, and that'll be the area that I do the loop. So the idea being that these blocks are gonna keep it from pulling and stretching to and fro, which I felt like I kind of did a little bit when I was freehanding them, because even if you warm these up, when you go to do this double loop, you're pulling on this thing. And then, like you can see here, this is one that I didn't remove, and I'm leaving. That distance is a little different than that one. So I don't know. Plus, it will keep this thing more true roundness wise. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, Merry Christmas, and that's the, I guess, part, whatever this is, 4 or whatever, to the cage rebuild saga. So